Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark, Sarah, and Pam. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
Today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. Also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com, and remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
We have the pleasure of being joined in studio today by the Executive Director for the Public Theater, Ray Dumont. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Doing great. There's always something going on.
Always something going on, especially this weekend.
Especially this weekend. That's why we're here.
What's going on this weekend?
We have an amazing pair. They call themselves ForEver Everly. It's the music of the Everly Brothers. And they are the real deal. They sound like the Everly Brothers. They actually look like the Everly Brothers. But it's not just one song after the other. It actually has some projections in it and some other pieces so that it actually tells a whole story about the evolution of the group and the time that they performed in. So they call it, I think, a rockumentary.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking to one of them, I believe, coming up here in just a bit. He's going to phone in from Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm sure Jared is very happy to be up at 4:15 a.m.
Yeah, I'm going to have to owe him big.
At the time of our recording.
Yeah.
I wonder if he dozed back off.
I bet he did.
And then he called in and we weren't ready.
Yeah. Yeah, he called in. I was the only one in the studio.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to get there in just a bit. But before we do, let's take a look at some headlines for Monday, June 9th.
Voters throughout Maine will head to the polls tomorrow to decide several local issues, including Auburn residents who will vote on a $64.5 million school budget. Lisbon will hold its school budget referendum, and Oxford Hills School District voters will weigh in on the $54.4 million school budget. Check with your local municipality for polling places.
The Maine Secretary of State's office is informing drivers about misprinted license plates. Over 3,500 registrants received plates that did not match their vehicle registration, and the issue could cause problems with E-ZPass readings. Drivers who receive the notice will receive a new plate in the mail by August.
Oh, boy.
Hannaford Supermarkets issued a recall for select varieties of Nature's Promise veggie chips due to a possible undeclared wheat allergen. Hannaford is urging anyone with a wheat allergy who purchased the product to return it to the store for a full refund.
And a screening of the film Building Hope, Ending Homelessness in Maine will be shown at the Franco Center in Lewiston on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Admission is free, and the event will include a panel discussion with 6 participants, including Kevin Bollard of Caden's Kitchen and Jamie Cowett of The Store Next Door.
Shall we talk about the weather?
We shall.
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love. It's much better.
I fixed it.
It was so long before.
Ray, the original version was 2.5 minutes long.
Oh, my
No,
God.
it wasn't quite that long, but it was too long.
Oh, my God. By then, you could just have time to go outside and see what the weather actually is.
Yeah, why don't we listen to this? We can just open a window.
There you go.
Partly sunny today with a high of 67 and a low of 54. Cloudy tomorrow with some early morning showers. Go figure. We'll have a high of 64 and a low of 53. Mostly sunny on Wednesday with a chance of scattered showers. Highs in the 70s. We don't want it to dry out too much.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
What's the meme going around now? My mud is getting dehydrated, so
Yeah.
we need more rain.
Need more rain.
Yep.
We have had seasoned firewood at our fire pit for the last 2 years, and we had a fire last night, and it is just waterlogged. It's like steam coming out of it, like
God.
bubbles.
It's not a fire, it's just a smoke.
It's just smoke everywhere.
What do you season it with? Paprika?
No, a season like 2 seasons of dryness.
Oh, gotcha.
Seasoned. Where are you from?
Who knew?
I've never heard of that. I don't
Seasoning
burn
your wood?
anything. I never burn
Oh.
anything.
Just britches?
I had a, yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, that's not what today's about. We can crack that open some other time.
What are we cracking open?
Pam's like, what do we got in the cooler?
What do we got?
Carlos Narvaez hit a 3-run homer to lead the Red Sox over the New York Yankees 11-7. I know what.
They took 2 of 3 from the Yankees.
Wild.
It's a miracle.
The Sox head home to take on the Tampa Bay Rays tonight at 7.
And despite the great weekend, they remain a huge disappointment. The Maine Mayhem women's football team will visit the Connecticut Ambush on Saturday night, and that'll wrap up their regular season. The playoffs will begin soon. Looking forward to that. That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now, it's time for the podcast segment that is
Sweeping
the Twin Cities. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Ray, why do you look like you're in pain right now?
I know. I look like I ate a bad clam.
That's the better of the two songs, right?
In my travels in the theater, I've been around a lot of composers, and that's definitely up there. That's a song.
I didn't write the lyrics. I just want to give credit to Mark for those.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Ray, do you think Mark's in the wrong profession?
I think he may have missed a calling. I don't know.
Totally. Totally.
People make a lot of money writing jingles.
Yeah.
It's true. We're going to start off with Natalie Portman,
Oh.
who is 44 years old today. Mm-hmm. All right, what's everyone's favorite Natalie Portman movie? Sarah, I'm going to guess yours.
Okay.
Thor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Actually, Love and Thunder Thor, though, is the
Yeah.
The first one's not my favorite, but the Love and Thunder is really good.
Okay.
She's very good in that.
Well, she's front and center in it too.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I
That would-
kind of groove on Black Swan.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're gonna make a musical out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited about that. That's perfect material for a musical.
She also played Padme in Star Wars
Yeah.
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
I did like her in that.
I liked her. I can't say that I like the movies, but I liked her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's won a BAFTA and a couple of Golden Globes, and heck of a career.
I guess so.
All right, Natalie.
Johnny Depp
Johnny Depp.
is 62 years old today.
Long list of favorites from that.
I
one.
know.
I
How'd it
know,
go?
right?
How did he get to be 62?
That's weird, huh?
Well, he was born 62 years ago.
Yeah, that's how you do
How
it.
that works.
That is
That's how that works.
Pam's good at the math.
Yeah,
She is.
she's so mathy.
Very much so.
No, absolutely not.
Favorites from him?
What's Eating Gilbert Grape, I think.
Oh, my
is
gosh.
Yep,
Him and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Just
That's where I am too.
amazing.
Yep.
Sweeney Todd.
Anything with Tim Burton that he's
Yeah.
done is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, guilty pleasure is the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
Yes.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
'cause
Just Captain Jack Sparrow is
Yeah.
it's so good.
and
So
the
entertaining.
remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
Yeah.
was so creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird. His teeth in that were crazy.
Edward
Which is how it was
Scissorhands.
intended.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Edward
yeah.
Scissorhands,
Well,
for
his dad
sure.
was a dentist.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's right.
What
Yeah.
was the other Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. That was another
Ugh.
one.
Ed Wood was another Tim Burton
Yeah.
one.
Oh, that was fun.
Corpse Bride.
Corpse Bride.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Never won an Academy Award. You believe that? He's won a Golden Globe, and his films have grossed over $10.8 billion worldwide. Yeah, his band is killer.
Hollywood Vampires.
Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper and Joe Perry.
Come on.
Wow.
And he was named People's Sexiest Man Alive twice.
What?
In 2003 and 2009. So there you go. Johnny Depp and I have something in common.
Just twice?
Twice.
Just twice?
Well, there's a lot of competition out there.
I
There
suppose,
sure is.
but
Yeah.
just twice seems.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got...
He didn't want to seem greedy.
right.
Should we do that for LA Metro? We name LA's sexiest
God.
man alive. Or person. It could be just a.
Sexiest person in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Would that issue sell a lot of copies?
If we start discussing this now, this podcast is going to go off the rails.
I know your
fast.
friend who's waiting in Phoenix. is
Yeah, I
like,
feel a
"Where
little
did I
bad.
go?"
Yeah. Not about that, but
And rounding out FPBs for June the 9th is Michael J.
Oh,
Fox.
Michael J.
yes,
Fox.
a treasure.
There it is.
64 years old today. Marty McFly is 64. Crazy.
Oh, I love him.
Alex P. Keaton.
Alex P. Keaton.
You
That's
got
right.
it. So many good movies.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Casualties of War.
Teen Wolf.
The Secret of
Teen
My
Wolf.
Success. Teen Wolf was great.
I love The Secret of My Success.
Yep.
I love that movie.
And he had another sitcom later after
Yes.
Family
I was
Ties.
trying to think of
Spin
Spin
City.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was on for a few years.
And he also voiced Stuart Little.
The Little Mouse.
Oh.
Little Mouse.
Yeah.
I like the cat Monty in that. I love him.
It's a great cat name.
Monty. I know. Perfect.
It's a great
Just
cat.
some of the stuff he says makes me laugh. I know it's coming now, and I start laughing.
Before he's the best. Awesome. Happy birthday to everybody.
Yep. Michael received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2002. And for his advocacy for a cure for Parkinson's disease, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2025.
And he's also married to one of his co-stars from Family Ties. They met on the set and they've
Tracy
been...
Pollan.
Thank
Any
you.
others?
No, the one Ray said.
Tracy Pollan.
And they've been married forever.
Yeah.
Meredith Baxter Burnley.
That's his mom. Burnley.
Burnley.
Who are you? You're so silly.
Those are your FPBs for June the 9th. Now let's take a look at some OTDs where we are about to debut our new OTD jingle.
Oh,
It happened on this day. It happened on this day. It happened on this day.
Wow.
I can see you
Well,
playing
that-
the air guitar in that.
And AI gave you a hand on that one?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Quite the lyrics.
Thank
I
you.
mean, yeah. You barely rhymed day with day.
Yeah. 19 years ago on this day in 2006, my son's favorite Pixar movie was released. It's Cars.
Mater.
Oh, starring Owen Wilson as the voice of Lightning McQueen. And then there was Mater. I love Mater. He was the
Mater.
best. 31 years ago in 1994, Lisa, the Left Eye Lopez of TLC, set fire to the mansion of her then boyfriend, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Andre Rison. That was probably not a good choice.
Go, Lisa. Is anyone going to just mention that in the movie Cars, the trophy that they were all racing for was called the Piston Cup?
Yeah.
Anybody going to...
He did what in his cup?
We're just going to gloss over that.
Yeah.
Like a piston, like a car
Oh, that.
piston.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Thank God you explained that.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah.
Guys, don't ruin this. 40.
I'm sitting there going, what? Thank God you explained that. I don't know what goes on under my hood, so to speak.
52 years ago in 1973, Secretariat won the Belmont Stakes to become the first Triple Crown winner in 25 years. And 235 years ago, in 1790, and you guys will remember this, the first book was copyrighted in the U.S., John Barry's Philadelphia Spelling Book. We all have that. Classic, right?
Riveting.
First book ever.
Classic. Riveting.
Yeah.
Page
Yep,
turner.
Page,
Yes.
literal page turner.
Yeah.
I've read it multiple times.
Yep. That's your OTDs for today.
Those are your OTDs and FPBs
And FPBs.
for June the 9th.
And OMGs.
Yeah.
This year marks 10 years of the Great Falls Brew Fest, and we're celebrating in a big way. Join us on June 21st at Samard Payne Memorial Park in Lewiston for live music all day. Over 40 craft breweries, local food trucks, lawn games, and an exclusive art vendor. It's the summer event you don't want to miss, but tickets are going fast. Get yours now at baxterbrewing.com. Great Falls Brew Fest, a decade of craft, community, and celebration. All right, now let's call Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, Phoenix.
I hope he answers.
He's sleeping.
I feel so bad.
He's
Me
like,
too.
I'm going to give them 10 minutes, and that's it.
And now we are joined on the phone by Jared Mancuso, who is so kind to get up so early from where he is. You're in Phoenix, Jared?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. So it is 4:33 a.m. where you are right now. And we so appreciate you joining us today. Jared is one half of ForEver Everly, the Everly Brothers Rockumentary, which will be at our very own public theater this Friday and Saturday. And Jared, could you give us an idea of what the show is all about and what the audience is in for?
Yeah. This was kind of a show that spawned out of the pandemic when, us musicians were all trying to recalibrate and scramble and figure out something new to do. And so my buddy Nick Gallardo and I created this show for the Everly Brothers. And instead of kind of just going the typical route of a tribute show where we're standing and telling you all these little factoids and there's a band and all that stuff, which is all amazing, we decided to go in a totally different direction. And we created a documentary about the Everly Brothers. And then we stand next to the screen in this little living room set and we perform all the music with the movie. And it kind of creates this experience where you're learning new things about them and seeing all this cool archival footage and all that stuff. And then you're also still getting live music. So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
That sounds pretty awesome.
I'm so excited to do this. I am so thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun show. It's when we first did it, I remember going out on stage and being incredibly nervous and being like, are people going to get it? Are people going to like this? You know, and it's been a hit ever since. So I couldn't be happier with how it all came out.
Awesome. Awesome. I apologize for not doing introductions at the beginning of the phone call, Jared. You know, Ray's here. My name is Mark, and I'm joined by Sarah.
Hi.
Hey,
And-
Mark and Sarah. Hey.
And Pam.
Hello.
Hey, Pam. Hey. That's the number I had.
Yeah, it's been a weird morning, as you already know. So,
That's all good.
so were you fans of the Everly Brothers before this came to be?
Yes. So we have been doing another show called Not Fade Away, Rock and Roll Reignited for over 10 years now at this point. I've lost track. And that show is more of a band, and we cover Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry, you know, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people kind of kept coming up to us and saying, you should do some Everly Brothers, you should do some Everly Brothers. But we felt as though from day one that it's a very different style of rock and roll. It had a little more of a country feel to it. And while we do like tap into a little bit of country and Rock and Roll Reignited, just not on the Everly Brothers level. It was uncertain what was going to kind of happen with being a musician in this world. We kind of were like, okay, well, what if we did something with just the two of us? And people have been saying to us, let's do the Everly Brothers. And Nick had already done a show where he did some Everly Brothers in it. So we knew a lot of the music already, and it was just like, you know what, let's just go for it and create something new out of it. So we weren't going in like totally blind. We knew their music. What's cool for me was making the documentary and learning about them a lot more.
Yeah.
Like their story, which is something that the audience takes away as well.
Right. What are some of the interesting things you've learned about Don and Phil?
First of all, how many hits they had is like out the gate. Just like, wow. But even later in their career, you know, how they kind of collaborated with other artists and helped them create hits. They kind of became producers in a sense for a little while. I don't want to give anything away, but there's like certain people who wrote songs for them that I didn't know about. And that was a really cool discovery. We even kind of go into some of the little darker details in the documentary. We don't just kind of keep it Disney. We try to keep it, you know, we try to let people in on what's going on. Like, you know, what happened with them. They had some drug problems at some points, and we kind of tap into that. But yeah, you know, the fact that they were one of the first groups to sign $1 million record contract, that was like the biggest of its time, you know. Just little things like that it was like, oh, I didn't realize how. I knew that, you know their hits, but it's like, oh man, I didn't realize like the cultural impact that they had just like on the whole, not just culturally, like, you know, for the zeitgeist of everybody. It was in the music industry, like what a huge deal they were in the music industry.
Right. Jared, how did you and Nick grow up with such great taste in music?
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were introduced to, I listened to the Beatles growing up. I tell this story, I feel like all the time, but I was on my way to the mall when I was a kid with my mom, and I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles came on the radio. And I was like, oh, I love this song. This is such a cool song. And she took me to the tape store. It was called The Wall. And, you know, and we picked out the tape, Meet the Beatles. And that was like my first tape that I picked out that like wasn't Alvin and the Chipmunks. You know, it was
That's great.
So, you know, like, and I still have that tape. So it's cool. Like, you know, I listened to a lot of that. I had an older sister growing up, and then that introduced me to a whole different world of music. Buddy Holly, all that stuff was always getting played. Patsy Cline, all of it was like in our household constantly. So
I
great stuff.
My mom gave me her 45s when I was a little kid. I had like a little record player in my room, and she gave me a box of 45s that she had as she was growing up, and one of them had Kathy's Clown on it, which is an and to this day, still one of my favorite Everly Brothers songs.
Yeah, it's great.
So
Those
cute.
harmonies are so cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you have a favorite?
Honestly, there's a song called Bird Dog that I think is really fun to play. And then there's another one that's actually we play. It's a little lesser known, but it's called Gone, Gone, Gone.
Oh.
And it's got this like really cool, like you can imagine somebody like in one of those like frilly dresses, like doing like a really quick twist to it. You know what I mean? It has like that feel to it. Like these drums are like on the toms, it's like this boom, it's really it's got like a really cool vibe to it.
Nice.
You should hear the jingles to some of our segments.
No.
They're really good.
No, they're not.
Do not ask him to play those.
He doesn't have to ask.
Just soundboard them, just start hitting buttons.
That's right. Ray, how did this connection happen?
Well, last year, it was my first year as executive director, and I realized that with our season, our stage is quiet for the whole summer, and part of my goal is to make more people know that the public theater is even there. We've been there over 30 years, and yet there are people who are like, wow, I've never been in this beautiful place before. And we have a beautiful, intimate 315-seat theater. It's great. And I said, what about something like music, a concert? It's lower maintenance as far as, because you're not putting up a set and you're not doing the whole process. What if we book something in? And at the time, sort of the universe connected us again. My friend Scott Moreau, we've been friends for 1,000 years. He always tells me, I remember when I was a little kid and I'd see you on stage at Main State Music Theater, and he makes me sound like Methuselah. But anyway, he does a beautiful Johnny Cash show, and I said, let's bring that to the theater. And it was such a great hit, and it was so wonderful to offer something else to the audiences we have and to bring new people to our theater. And, if 20 of those decide to come back and see something else in the theater, that's great. That's building your audience and building awareness. And so when I wanted to try to make Lightning Strike again, it was actually, I don't know if you know this, it was Scott who said, you need to check these guys out. They're the real deal.
Yeah, he had shot me a message and he was like, do you travel up to Maine at all? And I was like, funny enough, like, yes and no, but I was like, we haven't played any land shows in Maine. So I was like, whoever it is, like, tell them to reach out.
Okay, you're going to have to define land shows as opposed to...
Boats?
We did a riverboat cruise.
Oh,
that's what I was like. It
was along the coast. So we were up in like Portland. And we kept going up and down the coast between Boston and Portland.
That's great.
Like a booze
last
cruise.
summer we did it like it was like a booze cruise with food and all. It's almost like one of those big cruise ships, but like not as big. I don't know how to describe
A
it.
Scotia Prince or something like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
We're
I was
very
just up there recently.
Yeah,
Nice.
we are so excited to have you up here. We just, once our season ended in mid-May, we started pressing the advertising and marketing more. And the thing that drives me the most crazy in the world that I'm in right now is that people don't plan way ahead. People don't buy tickets until like days before. So I'm sitting, it's like having a party and sitting there with everything laid out and you don't know if anybody's coming or not.
You're like, I hope people come.
Yeah, and then I start taking it personally. I'm like, they hate me.
I know.
Because I decided to make it about me.
No, it's understandable. When we first started even doing the other show, Not Fade Away, I remember that was like one of our first discoveries was like, oh, people, they're not proactive in that way.
Right.
And it's funny, as a music goer, I have to like kind of check myself and I'm like, I'm not that proactive either. I'll tell people I'm going to a show and I'll go.
Right.
But I don't generally buy tickets ahead of time. I'll just buy them at the door unless there's somebody giving me a warning that it's like selling out.
Right.
But generally, I'm like kind of the same way. I don't know what that's about. I don't know how we got this way.
And, typical of our audience, the matinee is selling a lot faster than the evening. The evening is picking up, and we're very excited. And, I think we're providing something new to our audiences and to Lewiston Auburn. And I think that's half the battle right there. And to have something like this come here is a big get for us. Like we really value that, and we're so glad that you were finding your way up in this direction because it all worked out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm honestly so excited. Yeah.
Right.
It's 102 degrees in Phoenix, so I'm really excited to get to Maine.
It's half that here.
It's about half.
Okay, cool, perfect.
And hopefully
when
it
I was
won't
up
be
there,
raining.
when I was up there like about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and don't even ask me where I was in Maine, because it was like one of those. It was like flying to Portland and then get in a car and drive 2 hours and then play this venue and then drive another 4 hours. And
Sounds about right.
we were up there and it rained like the whole time.
Yeah.
It rained.
It's been raining.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
for weeks.
The weather is
no.
supposed to improve by the weekend, so we may be in luck.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, rain sometimes does mean people like go inside and watch a show.
That's
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
But it would be nice to like, see the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes load in and load out a lot more pleasant.
True.
Yeah. There's a lot more smiles involved that way.
Amen.
We're not asking for much, just a
No.
little sun.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just some sun.
Jared, I got to tell you, I took my mom to see Scott as Johnny Cash when that show occurred, and it was her first time at the Public Theater. She got to meet Ray. She's a huge fan of Ray. I think she's your biggest fan, Ray.
I've
Seriously.
other than my own mother.
Other than
yes.
your own mom. And I told her about this show. As I was explaining what was going to happen at this show, she grabbed my hand and she said, "We're going, right?"
Aww.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love
Yes,
it.
Mom,
That's
we're
awesome.
going. Huge Everly Brothers fans, so we're so
That's
looking forward to it. I'm
Cool.
curious, Jared, what kind of feedback have you received from fans after the show?
Kind of sometimes the same things that I say about it of like, oh, wow, we didn't know that about them. The one thing that we do this thing in the show where there'll be video of them playing on, a variety television show from the era. And what we'll do is we do all the sound. So they're seeing them and we sync up perfectly with them.
That's impressive.
Love it.
While they're playing. And
Yeah.
people are truly blown away by
Yeah.
that. And it's fun to watch it from our perspective because you're seeing them like look over at the screen and then they're looking over at us and then at them. And it's just this like wonderment. And it's pretty cool. I mean, like if I were watching a show and they were doing that, I'd be like, this is awesome. It's like being a magician in a way. It's like, the trick. So it's like not that like groundbreaking while you're doing it anymore, but it like rejuvenates me to see the audience be like, whoa.
Yeah, I did watch the YouTube clip that's connected to the Public Theater's website. I'd describe it as like an interactive documentary. I love that. Like,
Yes.
it's very cool because I love
like kind of like an
documentaries.
experiential.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy too. It's the other feedback I get is you didn't mention this. And
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
and that happens, and it's like I can only fit so much into 90 minutes, it's like
We had a
because
we had
No,
a
go ahead.
rather rabid fan, I mean, in a good way, of Johnny Cash, who was basically, Scott was very happy to stand in the lobby after and, greet people and stuff. And this man came at him and said, "Did you know this? Did you know this?" Like, he was quizzing Scott. So,
Oh, man.
we are an inquisitive people up here, so be ready.
I'll be ready. Yeah. It's
Okay.
Bring your
this,
facts.
putting up now I'm pretty well versed in the Everly Brothers now. My buddy Holly and like that stuff, all that knowledge is like beyond. I know so much, and I'll run into people who will like try to quiz me, and then I'll like turn it on them, and they don't know the answers, and I'm like, ooh.
Fun.
I thought you were a fan.
Yeah, it's like, oh, how about that?
It's like me with comic book trivia.
Oh.
Right. You just know it all.
I do.
The performances are at the Public Theater in Lewiston, 31 Maple Street, Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 2. And you can get your tickets at thepublictheater.org.
There's still tickets. Like I said, Saturday is selling pretty briskly. Friday's actually looking good right now. I'm actually going to get another update in about 10 minutes because the computer does it automatically. But
Nice.
Yeah, please do come. We're very excited to have something new and different and rather wonderful on our stage this weekend.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Next year marks 30 years of Uncle Andy's Digest. What started as a beloved print publication has grown into Lydia Media, a full-service marketing partner helping local businesses thrive. From LA Metro Magazine and the Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast to social media management, website design, and advertising across all platforms, we've got your marketing needs covered. If you're a business making a difference in our community, let's connect. Lydia Media is here to tell your story and help you grow. Lydia Media, in business, for business. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com.
Jared, if you don't mind, I know it's extremely early where you are, and you can't wait to get off the phone with us.
Am I about to sing? Please.
No. Make you do that.
We close out every show with a segment called 3 Random Questions, where we ask you questions that have nothing to do with your profession, and we were wondering if you'd like to play along with Ray.
Absolutely.
All right, great.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Ray, we'll start with you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you're going to get
can't
the
wait.
same questions, so you'll have some time to think while Ray is answering.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll answer slowly.
Yeah, I'm only firing on one cylinder.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
We'll give some softballs.
You're good.
Ray, choosing something that has nothing to do with your profession.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that you could teach someone to do today with 100% certainty?
Back handspring.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, I used to be a gymnast.
Prove it.
Now it's a back handspring with a kind of like cast a veil of a 58-year-old man over it.
And what noises?
now it's a backhand.
What breaks?
What noises?
Now it's a backhand
But I
with
can-
a hospital visit.
Yeah.
I can teach the mechanics to someone.
Gotcha.
Neat.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so
Great.
cool.
All right, Jared, same question.
I'm gonna say drive stick shift.
Oh, that's
Nice.
good.
That's a lost art.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Truly.
Yep.
It is a lost art. Yeah, it's so sad to see it go.
Yep. I know Sarah's a big fan of manual transmissions,
Yeah.
right?
I can handle
same
it.
here.
Yeah, I remember my mother teaching me and being on a hill for the first time, trying to start on a hill,
Bowling backwards.
feeling out, like
I had to-
burning rubber. Yeah,
I had to do that in my driver's test in a standard. They made us park on a
God.
hill in a standard and take off. It's like, are you serious?
Not okay.
That's
Not
incredible.
okay.
Is this ever going to be a choice that I make?
automatics from here on out.
All the
Right.
way. All the way. I got one.
Oh, God.
I'm going to make it easy. Jared's going to go first this time.
Okay.
Jared.
You're up, Jared.
What smell, when you smell it, instantly makes you think of your childhood?
Oh my! I would say that's actually really wild. It smells such a. My first initial thought was we have like a cherry blossom tree in my backyard where I grew up, and like my initial thought was like the smell of like the leaves and the rain and all that stuff.
Nice.
Because that like every spring it like blooms and then drops and the ground is covered in the pink leaves.
Aw.
And I mean, that's still there. My parents are all still there in Pennsylvania, so I still get to see it from time to time. But I feel like that smell of like just the nature of their backyard is just like, that's childhood.
That sounds lovely.
It's great.
Yes.
It's way better than
It's way better than mine.
smoke.
Like, I hope it's not
Yeah.
farts. Let's.
What's yours, Ray?
The smell of applesauce cooking.
Oh,
My dad
Hey,
used
that's
to
terrible.
My dad used to make
that's great.
applesauce at home, and it was so great. And when he passed away, it was like overnight, and the next morning it was just me and my 3 siblings and my mom at the house. And I arrived at the house, and there was a thing of applesauce on the stove and a coffee cake that my dad used to make. And I said, "Where did this come from?" And my brother said, "I couldn't sleep last night, so I decided to cook like Dad." And
Nice.
my heart.
and we just sat around the table, and there weren't a lot of arrangements to make by virtue of what his wishes were. So we just sat around the table, and I got to tell you, we laughed and we had fun and we stuffed our faces, and it was great. But that applesauce smell, that house on Brooks Avenue, that's a smell that I'll never forget.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are
Incredible.
good ones.
Yeah, those are
both
good smells.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah.
All right, mine. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Starting with Ray on this one.
Oh, great.
Pam, good question.
Only because I make it expertly. Chicken piccata.
I love chicken piccata.
That's great.
It's so good.
Can you mix up the pasta and have different pasta every time?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I use whole wheat pasta.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. Jared?
I would go with like a beef brisket
Oh,
and
wow.
a good one.
Yeah.
Like, it's like specific because if I had a bad brisket for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
I'd be miserable.
That's like living in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I go to a restaurant and if it says best brisket outside, I know it's immediately a lie.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you know,
Shoe leather.
dry
a
and
good,
chewy.
a good like brisket that like falls apart in your hand, you know,
Yep.
like that, like where you watch them squeeze it with the glove and it just comes apart. That's like delicious.
So good.
That for the
Sounds
rest of my
lovely.
life.
I need breakfast.
Yeah,
There you go.
and my cholesterol would lose it.
Sarah's all hungry now.
I know. I've already worked
Yeah.
out, so I need to get some protein.
Well, that wraps up 3 random questions and the show, actually. Jared, we want to thank you so much for your time this morning and getting up super early.
Oh my
Thank you,
gosh.
Jared.
Yes, thank you.
And
Of course.
You actually had more energy than the 4 of us
I
put
know.
together.
He's so jovial and cheerful.
So,
Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing this. It's manic.
Take a nap later.
Yeah.
we are so looking forward to the show. You can learn more about Forever Everly, the Everly Brothers Rockumentary, online at forevereverlyshow.com. And you can get your tickets at thepublictheater.org. Thanks again, Jared, and we look forward to
Hey,
seeing you
thanks
this
for having me.
weekend.
See you, Jared.
Awesome.
care.
Same.
All right.
Thank you
Safe
so much.
travels.
Thank you.
Thanks to our sponsors, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam via email at pam@lydiamediallc.com. Should we all sing an Everly Brothers song to close it out?
I don't think we want that.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat. And I will say I have bitten my cat.